Okay, so today, instead of playing Pokemon Shining Pearl, I do want to go over some competitive Pokemon guides because, well, this can help you. If you want to get into competitive Pokemon, these are like some basics that you should always know. And I'll also show you like a source that you can go to, aside from Pokemon Showdown, to build your team, test it out before you actually make it. So, yeah, hopefully this can help you out. I'm going to be going over mostly singles. I'm going to be going over only singles. And I'm going to go over a few types of Pokemon, like stall, or like, yeah, stall right here. You can have a setup, sweep, uh, and some cleanup Pokemon just in case your others go down. This isn't an actual team, like a fully functional team. I mean, you can use this team. I'd say it's decent at best, but I'd rather you not because this is just some random Pokemon I put in together just for this video. So, first category is setup, and this is basically whatever your lead is going to be. So, let's say Roserade, for example. Roserade gets spikes, toxic spikes, sleep powder, leech seed. This is basically your whole moveset. Now, nature and EV spread is up to you and whatever you're worried about. Like, let's say you're more worried about special attacks, you can go special defense. If you want to outspeed and guarantee or almost guarantee your sleep powder because 75% accuracy could be a problem, or at least guarantee like a spikes or toxic spikes, then speed, change this to like timid or something, and there you go. But for the sake of stalling setup, you would want to go something like calm or just impish, bold, or just whatever defensive nature you want because you have no attacks. So with this kind of setup, you just want to go something like defense, HP, and put the extra point in either special defense or speed. Or HP's maxed out. Speed or special defense. It's really up to you. If you want to outspeed 90 speed Pokemon or 90 base speed Pokemon with no speed investments, then there you go. There's your 1 point. If you want to have a chance of surviving, special defense. Now, the reason I didn't put anything on special defense is because of the nature. So this is just a basic setup. You can have something like um yeah, you can have something like bold and then just switch this around. It's pretty much whatever you're worried about the most is what you're going to be setting up. But for the sake of this Pokemon, we're just going to keep it like this. So the whole point of this is to get off your sleep powder first, if you want to. If you don't feel comfortable, then go for spikes or toxic spikes, or go for a leech seed. Or you always want to go leech seed last because, well, you're not going to survive for long. Your first Pokemon, if you have a setup Pokemon, you just want it to do as much as it can before it goes down. That's why if you have something like a Shuckle, you would want to have something like Final Gambit because it'll faint you and do a good amount of damage also. So that's always pretty handy. But I'm using Roserade here because it gets spikes and toxic spikes and sleep powder. So I'd say it's pretty good. But this is just a basic setup. If you want, after that, you can go for something like Garchomp. Because Swords Dance, and 3 coverage moves. Now, this is where this website comes in, because it tells you what you're not very effective in, what you're not going to have effect on, normal effective, and super effective. If we go with this, which is basically your typical Garchomp set, it's going to be Dragon, Ground, Rock. As you can see, you're always going to be hitting something at least neutrally or super effective. Or if you want to change Stone Edge to like Poison Jab, then this is what you're going to have to worry about. If you want to change it to pretty much whatever else, maybe Fighting, this is what you have to worry about. But Stone Edge, you don't have to worry about anything. So type coverage, always very important. And of course the Swords Dance. Swords Dance Life Orb. I don't think I have to really explain anything else about that. But if you don't think you can get the Swords Dance, it's fine, because Garchomp will just do damage. So again, basic setup, max attack, max speed, and Jolly Nature. Or if you want, you can go Adamant. You can maybe have something like a Choice Scarf, and change this to Poison Jab. Now this is fine too, but I'd rather have the Swords Dance, personally, and have the Life Orb. So, your basic Garchomp set. If you want a Banded, or just a choice Pokemon in general, you can have something like this. I just thought Raichu because it gets a good amount of moves. Volt Tackle, Brick Break, Iron Tail, and Volt Switch just in case you want to get out of there while doing at least a little bit of damage. So this is what you want. Max attack, max speed. And if you want Choice Band instead of Scarf, you can change Adamant to Jolly. And this will pretty much be the same thing. It's personal preference, to be honest. If you want to make sure you outspeed, then Choice Scarf. If you want to dish out as much damage possible, Choice Band. And that's pretty much it for Raichu. Type coverage, you have Electric, Fighting, and Steel. So let's go here. Electric, Fighting, Steel. So the only thing you really have to worry about is, well, none of these, because these guys are not in the game. But normal Rotom, no one uses normal Rotom. And Shedinja, which I don't know how popular Shedinja is. I don't think it's that popular right now, at least. So pretty much you have nothing to worry about. And this is a good enough set for you to maybe one-tap everything. Or you can have Azumarill. Now these two is basically, or more like these two, are your setup sweepers. Because, or yeah, these two are your main sweepers. Because Azumarill, Belly Drum, Citrus Berry, Aqua Jet for priority, Play Rough for coverage, Superpower for coverage, or if you don't feel comfortable, you can just have Protect. Really not that big of a deal. Protect, or pretty much whatever move you want, as long as it's physical. Some of these moves Azumarill doesn't get in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. So I'd say Protect is a good option. Superpower is a decent option. The only downside is it lowers your attack and defense. Or you can even be a little funny and have Parasong, just to maybe force a switch. But that's all up to you. I would personally have Protect. I don't know why I had Superpower there before, but Protect. Now, the last Pokemon here Again, it's similar to this, but no swords dance because you have Iron Fist. And of course, coverage moves, and you're just relying on this as some kind of cleanup. So let's say Garchomp goes down, but it did damage to a lot of Pokemon. It knocked out like 2 or 3, and all the other Pokemon are damaged because of Raichu, or vice versa. Raichu knocks out a few Pokemon. Garchomp maybe knocks out one. Azumarill somehow dies. And Infernape is just there to clean up. Or Azumarill kills. Garchomp does damage. Umbreon does some kind of damage. And you have Raichu and Infernape as some kind of cleanup to finish off the rest of the Pokemon. Because Banded or Scarfed Raichu with Volt Tackle, kinda scary. Because you get stab, you get the stab bonus, you get the ban bonus, and that's already scary. And Volt Tackle, 120 base power with stab. Yeah, plus the stab increase. The recoil, you don't really have to worry about. You're going to be knocking out maybe 3 Pokemon max. Maybe 4 if you're lucky. But if you want to be safe, then of course Choice Scarf. Right here. Choice Scarf. And just change this to Adamant. Personal preference. I prefer the ban because, well, I want to make sure I one-shot them. And I don't want any chances of them living. So, yeah, I prefer band. But if you prefer Scarf, so you can outspeed, because outspeeding is honestly very important. So, if you want Scarf, go right ahead. So this is basically like the basics of what you should have in a singles team. Doubles team is a bit more like complicated, I guess. No, I guess singles is way more complicated. Doubles is easier because all you have to do is find some kind of synergy between 2 Pokemon. But this is just for singles, like the basics of it. You want to have, or if you want, you can have some kind of setup. You can have your stallish Pokemon, and if that fails, or if it only knocks out like 1, does damage to like 2 others, you have the rest of your team to clean up. Or if your setup goes down, then you go to your second setup. And in this case, Azumarill, you Belly Drum, Aqua Jet, get a few KOs. Or if you're not feeling comfortable with Belly Drum, you can just Aqua Jet Play Rough normally. With huge power, it's pretty good. It's pretty good even without the Belly Drum boost, because attack is doubled, so this is doubled, which is insane. But if you can get the Belly Drum off, that'd be wonderful. And Raichu and Infernape, or whatever other 2 Pokemon you want, is just there to clean things up and win you the game. If you want to add in a legendary, like let's say Latios, Latios is pretty popular. You can have, I guess, maybe Choice Specs. Oops. Yeah, Choice Specs. Choice Specs. There we go. You can have Draco Meteor. Psychic, Ice Beam, and whatever other move you want. I would probably say Energy Ball if you're deciding to run specs. If not, then maybe Calm Mind. Maybe Calm Mind, Life Orb. That should work. You don't have to Calm Mind, you can just do your moves. And that should be enough for a cleanup. Yeah, that should actually be enough for a cleanup. But having choice items, having a life orb Pokemon is very good for sweeping, finishing off a game, and pretty much making sure you're in the advantage. Priority moves, you want to make sure you have two. So let's say Breloom, Technician, Mach Punch, something like that. Mach Punch, Spore. Oops. There we go. Other two moves, whatever you want. Max this out. Or if you're just going to Mach Punch, maybe do something like this. Have the Adamant Nature, and you're pretty much set from there. Something like that. Other two moves is really up to you. Maybe have Bullet Seed and Drain Punch. Sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Let's have Drain Punch. That shouldn't be too bad. Or if you want Protect, if you want, um, yeah, I think that's fine as it is. Item, Life Orb, Lychee Berry. You can have, what else can you have? You can have an Expert Belt if you want to. Maybe a Focus Sash. Um, you can have Heavy Boots. You can have an Herb. You can have a Lumberry. Many options. So this is basically your basic setup for a team. Some kind of um what is this thing called again? Oh man, I'm brain farting. A set of Pokemon. You can have some kind of stall Pokemon, your main sweepers, and your cleanup crew. That's basically your whole setup. Of course, you can go full stall, full sweep, um, full setup. It's basically all up to you as long as you make use of this type coverage calculator, because you don't want to have a lot of. Wow, that actually worked. You don't want to have too many not very effectives or too many no effects. Like, if you have only two moves, you want to make sure it's a minimum. So let's say Flying Water. So this is not that bad, except for Rotom Wash and Polion. If you have Flying, you take out Flying. This is more of a problem. So always consider what you can have if you are making a team, because, well, you never know what you're going to be up against. And if you do fight someone, you're not going to be able to change mid game. You can't change your team mid game. So make use of this. Make sure your team works together. This is just a random team I put together. So do not say that this is a terrible team, this team sucks, or any of that stuff. This is just example Pokemon. If you want me to make an actual team, I'll probably try that in another video. But next time I tried to do Pokemon Showdown, I'm probably going to be going over doubles, because doubles a little more thinking, kind of. Yeah, a little more thinking, because you have to make sure your Pokemon work together. You have to make sure you have options and all that stuff. But for now, hopefully, this kind of helped you with understanding competitive Pokemon a little bit. Uh, and hopefully, you are getting a little more interested in it, because competitive Pokemon is very interesting, because you never know what is good or what can be good, because this thing right here, this thing won a championship, and it's just a Pachirisu. Like, what? These stats are not that impressive. Maybe this is pretty good, but still, it's very surprising to see this win a whole big tournament. So you never know what is good or not. Heatran has been performing really well. Garchomp is just good. Hippowdon's pretty good. Pelipper is good for rain. Scizor is just good. Yeah, Scizor, Bullet Punch, Steel Plate, pretty good. Tyranitar is just straight up good. Zapdos can work well in doubles. So yeah, a lot of stuff to consider if you're playing Pokemon. And try out Showdown. It will help you make your team, help see it more visually. And yeah, if you want me to go over doubles, then let me know. And I'll do my best for next time.